Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Austin, and today I'm going to talk about current-oriented swimming by jellyfish and its role in balloon maintenance. Alright, okay. Before we get into our study, I want to ask everyone a question first. What means balloon? Okay, so no one answering my question. So, let's see this picture. Is that oil spill in the sea? Absolutely not. And it's a collective noun for a large group of jellyfish. And what's our goals of this study? First is improve our ability to forecast the time of arrival and of harmful jellyfish bloom near major tourist areas to avoid tourist injuries. And second is to improve the facilities of agriculture. And the third is to reduce negative social economic impact. Okay, introduction. So, as we know, jellyfish is a weakly swimming organism. Their swimming speed only about 0.05 meter per second. And therefore, the ability of respond to the flow. Respond to the flow is an important part of jellyfish life. And aggregation play a critical role in the jellyfish life and facilitate reproduction and reduce predation or stranding. So there's no question that current-oriented swimming is imperative ability for jellyfish. And if they get this ability, like this picture, they can do anything they want to do in the sea. And if they don't, they will be rushed on the beach and stranded. I don't know what you guys think about this, but I only think about this. So it's a really delicious lunch. So maybe it's not bad in this situation. Okay, this study we choose Rhizostoma octopus, because it will observed every summer in Breteuil, is French pronunciation, and Bay of Biscay in France. Their habitat is at Northeast Atlantic, Mediterranean Sea, and Black Sea. And it's a location. And it's a Rhizostoma octopus. Material and method. We divide into two parts. Real jellyfish and virtual jellyfish. And real jellyfish is all captured from the sea and equipped with data logger to determine real jellyfish activity. And virtual jellyfish divide into passive and active to determine the consequence of two activities. So I talk about real jellyfish first. And they all capture from the sea. And their data logger recording diving behavior activity and sorry. The activity and body orientation and measure the direction of local current by drifting buoys. And look at this picture. The float tied on the jellyfish is how this whole package to maintain the neutral buoyancy. And virtual jellyfish, in other words, it's just a particle tracking model simulating the movement of virtual jellyfish. And the passive one is virtual jellyfish which can detect and respond to the flow. And the active one is upside reaction. And this figure show the abundance of jellyfish from aerial survey. The colorful dot is represent. It's represent the area has aggregations. So in the real jellyfish result, we discover jellyfish spend their time 40% of their time performing V-shaped dives and 82.9% swimming horizontally between 0 and 2 meters. And their mean bell pulse frequency was 0.08 pulses per second. And this is the table. We can see the mean direction and standard deviation with jellyfish and current in the ebb tide, flood tide, and slack water. Okay, in that table on the ebb tide, swimming direction was counter current, and on the flood tide, swimming with or against the current. And during slack water, mean current direction and mean jellyfish direction were more variable. So it seems like jellyfish orientation seems to be modulated by tidal current. And this figure A is ebb tide and B is flood tide. C is slack water. And the blue arrow is current direction. Black one is jellyfish direction. Okay, in virtual jellyfish, total 4,800 particles were released in the areas, and these 4,800 include passive and active. And then compared to the aerial surveys before, active virtual jellyfish aggregated in 7 of these 12 areas, and passive virtual jellyfish only aggregated in 5. And this figure are the consequence from overlay the virtual jellyfish and aerial surveys. The purple cell indicate a bloom, and the red star indicate 12 areas observed from aerial surveys. And red star and purple areas like this. Yeah. And the purple cell overlapping on a red star indicate a model correctly predict the location of one of the 12 observed blooms. And so, from the information we know, active jellyfish were more often aggregated than passive virtual jellyfish. And 43.2% of passive particles were stranded compared to 3.7% of active particles. The following picture will show us. Okay, the figure A. The black line means the aggregation index of particle with passive, non-oriented swimming behavior. And the gray line means the aggregation index of particle with active oriented swimming behavior. And the figure B is the number of stranded particles in percentage throughout the simulation, and the black line is passive, and the gray one is active. Okay, finally this question. What is possible mechanism on jellyfish to trigger this ability? And the possible answer is a statocyst. It's locate a mergence of jellyfish bill and can detect gravity and sense vibration and pressure variation, and how jellyfish direct or indirectly to detect the current flow. And this is something look like this. And a similar mechanism can also be observed on zooplankton. They can maintain their depth in water, and by detecting and swimming against the upwelling and downwelling currents. High-flying nocturnal insects can also use the similar way to keep them in the downwind direction when flying at an altitude of a maximum speed. And they may use microturbulence within the airstream. Okay, let's see the outflying and outswimming animals. They may not detect. They may not show strong and immediate response to current drift because their speed allows them to compensate for drift or reorientate later, like migrating birds and migrating turtles. And their goals, destination, may be more important, being able to continuously detect flow drift, and this all depends on the ratio of animal speed and flow speed. And in the end, detect and respond to the drift may be stronger in slow moving than in fast moving species. Okay, eventually conclusion. The study results show that jellyfish exhibit the complex current-oriented strategy that play important roles in blood maintenance. And free living jellyfish can actively change their swimming direction in response to current drift. And we can pose some question to future study is how widespread this ability is among other slow-moving taxa and what the adaptive significance of this strategy might be for each taxa. Okay, thank you for your attention today.
So it's 11 minutes. Oh. Benson. Penny. Celia. Jean. Oh.
First I have to say is about the second page. Yes, you ask the question, but after that you say we don't want to answer your question. I think it's not correct because we know when in this question we can't answer your question when you're talking. So we have to wait a time.
Yeah, so it's can you explain it? It's just a strategy to attract your attention, and you feel into this.
I don't think because you answer about the we don't want to answer your question. It is your
Okay, that's fine.
okay. And my answer is the graph page. The graph page. My question in the graph page.
Wrong page.
No, the page they have the picture is the graph.
Oh.
Which graph? Result discussion. Coordinates. Map.
Oh.
Is that the map? Oh, X. Oh, okay.
Yes. Graph.
This one. Quick.
Which one are you talking about?
Okay, stop.
Stop. What?
Page 18.
18.
18.
Yeah,
Yes.
this one. And
What is
You
your
just
x?
double click. Double click.
What is your x axis?
huh?
What is your x axis?
X.
Yes.
Oh. This one is the application index, right? And this one is the time of the this study this experience time. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Benson.
You mentioned that they put a data logger on the jellyfish, and
Yeah.
did the paper mention how will the data logger influence their response to the query?
The data logger only recall their ability and no.
What's his question?
It's asking me the data logger will how to detect the jellyfish to detect jellyfish to respond to the
No.
logger.
Ask again. No.
it mentioned that how will the data logger influence their response to the query?
What's his question?
It asks me jellyfish. No, the data logger will influence how to influence their movement to current right? Yeah. So this data logger only record their moving and sorry. They only record their ability and body orientation, and compared to the local current, and the local current is measured by
Okay, not to the point. Okay. Next, Penny.
The swimming ability of jellyfish is 4, right?
yes.
So how can they swim against the current?
Repeat.
She asked me the jellyfish is weakly swimming organism and how do they swimming respond to the current.
Right.
And this is jellyfish swimming only it's not only this. They only respond to the tidal current. The tidal current in this Biscay Bay is not stronger enough to wash them away. So they can even though their speed only 0.05 meter per second. It's enough to respond to the tidal current. Yes.
Sylvia.
And the next slide of result. Next slide.
Last. Okay, this one.
Yes. And can you clarify the data well? Rise rapidly and 60.
What's the question?
You mean this one? She asked me why the black line is in 60 will suddenly go up like this. And this is the experiment data. So I don't know why at least 60 and it will suddenly go up like this one. Yeah. And this is a figure show about percentage. Yeah.
Jane.
Here, you say that the jellyfish has some mechanism to against the current during at tide and flood tide. So is that current similar to the condition plankton net, like upwelling and downwelling? What's the current?
What
Downwelling.
is the question?
He asked me the jellyfish will respond to the current downwelling or upwelling, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So in this one, I explained jellyfish spend 14% of their time in vision time. So it's not a major movement of jellyfish tank. And they spend 82.9% doing horizontal swimming behavior. Yeah.
One volunteer question. Okay. Let's go.
What is the meaning of the virtual your title? Is it a problem or
The virtual jellyfish is not a jellyfish. It's a particle that simulates the. It's the particle tracking model simulating the movement of virtual jellyfish. So it's not real jellyfish. It's just a particle tracking model. Yes.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, put it in the sea. 4,800 particles.
No. It's not put into C. It's put into computer, okay? Okay. So that's a key point. It's in computer, not in the sea. Okay. Okay. So regarding this talk, so at the beginning, some strength first. So he tried to interact with you. I know it's usually no response, but that the key point is you practice. So response or not is not important. And then you have a purpose slide. However, where is that? Okay, goal of this study. As I mentioned earlier, because it came out early, so at some point we forgot already. So you really need to, and actually I think this is a little bit like motivation. 动机, So for research purpose, you really need to say, the purpose is to put a data logger on jellyfish, which has never been done before. Because it's jellyfish, it's not whales or sharks, it's jellyfish. So that's the first time a data logger ever been put onto a jellyfish. So that's something new. And then measure its movement. That's also hard to measure. That's the new thing. Okay, so that's a motivation. Okay. And then he also had some flow chart regarding his analysis. However, I'm very surprised that you didn't tell or you misunderstood the paper. Virtual jellyfish only in computer. And regarding this discussion, I think it's verbose and too long. Okay, although you didn't speak over time. However, I have the feeling that the discussion was not well. It's mostly from the paper, right? The sentences. I would suggest you focus your discussion to only key question. What's the mechanism that jellyfish can swim? Okay? Yeah. You can elaborate. I have no idea what's this. It's a bad poor picture. So you elaborate. Elaborate means you talk more about this. And for the others, like other animals, I think it's not that important. Maybe you can tell us how they swim. How is it like one of the questions? How is it possible to swim over against currents? Because we know that currents, especially in surface water, the speed is usually the highest. You say the tidal current is not high, which is wrong. Turtle current can be very, very fast. So you really need to tell us what's the mechanism. How is it possible to swim against current? Okay. And okay, so weakness. So I think the way you pronounce balloon, you pronounce balloon, no? Okay, so I was a bit confused. We usually say balloon. Okay. And my feeling is you are not familiar enough with the script, so you're like doing this all the time, huh? Okay. And again, we add another list, can't. So please do not use this. Okay. So didn't, aren't, don't, can't, wouldn't. Please, no. Okay. And another thing that I noticed for the first time is you talk about. That's the first time I ever heard. Okay, you say 0 decimal. Okay, we usually don't say that. We usually either we say 0.8. Okay, point, or 0.8. Oh. Okay, either 0.8 or 0.8. Okay. And regarding your results, you often, in 2 times, you talk about the conclusion. Oh, before you talk about the data. I know you talk about the data here, but these numbers, they are like the direction, right? They are not speed. These are direction. It's actually from this. So I would say you can skip this. I know you make the table yourself, but this one is easier to look at. You can see that they are swimming against current. So please discuss data first before you talk about the interpretation. Okay. Okay. And then as one of the student asked, you forgot to talk about the axis. So you should say that's the time of day. How many days in computer simulation? Okay. Okay. Hope to see you in 2 minutes.